Hello, guys. Welcome back to Tweedle Time. I'm once again the host, Andrew, and we got a co-host.
Yeah, I'm James.
And today, for once, we actually have a special guest, introducing Kyler.
Hi.
Yeah, man, it's Kyler.
Nice to
Yeah.
see you.
Finally
Today,
got
we're
a
going
special guest on.
we're gonna talk
A
about some,
special guest.
talk about border gore in the modern era. Don't worry, I'm definitely gonna be putting some maps up, and at least in the YouTube version, I've said upload.
If for those of you who don't know what border gore is, it's when there's borders within borders with it's really
That's
complicated
called
borders.
so there's a few different types of border gore. One just looks stupid. Like, just be honest.
It just looks stupid.
It does.
One is being an exclave, which is when a piece of land is not attached to the rest of it. There's something called an enclave, which is the worst thing ever, where a part of a country is not even it's inside another country.
So there's a part of a country inside of another country.
Yes,
That's in border gore
it's
for
so
you, folks.
impractical, but it still exists in the modern era nonetheless. Unfortunately, India and Bangladesh fixed their border.
They did?
If they didn't fix their border, there was a third order enclave, which is an enclave inside of an enclave inside of an enclave inside of an enclave inside of an enclave. I think I made one too many. Regardlessly, it was bad.
One too many.
It was still bad.
Wow, that is impressive.
They
amounts
fixed
of-
all the enclaves. It still looks like garbage, but it's just no enclaves.
truly impressive.
We're going to start off with a simple one, and that is Spain. Iberia looks to only be split up between two different countries, Portugal and Spain. But if you look closely, there's a certain rock called Gibraltar.
Okay, what's up with Gibraltar? It looks like is Gibraltar owned by Gibraltar?
No, Gibraltar's owned by the UK, because that makes sense.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It actually does make sense.
And people
No,
thought...
it doesn't. Tyler.
Okay, I'll explain the historical point of this. The reason why it existed because it's through the War of Spanish Succession. The UK basically wanted to control entrance to the Mediterranean. Also, it's kind of useful because, the whole Egypt and Malta and Cyprus, all those things that involve...
So stupid.
all this, it helped connect the British Empire. And don't worry, Spain still wants it back.
I would want it back too. That's immensely stupid.
Yeah, so there's just a hard border, and who said the UK got kicked out of continental Europe after France? Nah. Anyways, but don't worry, just to restore balance to the world. Spain owns a part over the other side of the Mediterranean in Morocco.
Oh my gosh.
There's a few different
so
parts.
stupid.
This is mostly due to the Reconquista Conquistador, which is where they basically kicked the Muslims out of Europe.
The Iberian Peninsula. Yeah, they kicked the Muslims out of the Iberian Peninsula. And so they decided, in
Decided-
addition to doing that, they would take
So it's
the
basically
other side of the Straits
it's
of
basically
Gibraltar.
Gibraltar, but instead it's Spain.
So
Wow.
There's
the
also-
UK owns the European half of the Straits of Gibraltar, and then Spain owns the part in Africa.
Yep, and that's why Europe has technically never been fully kicked out of Africa.
Because that makes sense.
There's also a few.
Oh, so much
There's a
sense.
second part which I can't exactly find myself on the map because I forgot. It's been a while, but I'll probably show that to you as well. There's like a wall built around it just because of just how much of a problem I put the European Union having an open borders thing, and then people getting into Spain, and it caused a big
Oh my
headache.
gosh.
Either way, also they took these islands which are off the coast of Spanish, as which used to be Spanish Sahara, which is proclaimed to be the country of South Sahara, which is also simultaneously been claimed by Morocco, and that's a whole mess. I'm not.
So who owns it?
Yes. There is no good answer
Yes.
to this, so I'm gonna not talk about it
It's
too much.
owned by someone.
But more or less, the coast is controlled by Morocco, even though not supposed to. Like, there was the idea was the ideal scenario they wanted is Morocco to own it but have autonomy, and then like other countries around didn't want that, and the people didn't really fully want it. It's a big mess. Okay, that's not the thing I'm
Sounds like
going to
a
get
mess.
into. Not going to get into right now, just due to the fact that.
What are your thoughts, Kyler?
I don't really have any other thoughts than who would own this kind of stuff. I understand that it's like,
Because can't let it fall into the Muslims' hands.
Yeah.
yeah, that is true. But
Okay, next thing to talk about is a simple one. So this has to do back with the colonization of Africa,
Of
but
course.
because we're not, yeah.
Europeans are so good at drawing up borders for other continents. and
So
countries.
basically, here's the best way I can put this. There's a Congo River. Portugal wanted to colonize it,
Of course, Portugal was a colonizer,
and then the problem was
just like Sweden.
there was this big part of Africa, which is also known as the DRC, Democratic Republic of the Congo, which they didn't want Germany having.
What?
It's 'cause
Wait,
just-
Portugal didn't want Germany having the
no,
DRC.
the UK and France.
Didn't want Germany having the
Because
DRC.
screw Germany.
Well, yeah, nobody liked Germany for the first half of the 20th century.
They weren't the worst, but still.
They weren't the worst.
Trust me, I would have
but-
definitely preferred them having this in Belgium, which we'll talk about why in a future day. Also, yeah, spoiler alert, it was given to Belgium because it was a newly independent country, didn't have any colonies, and they thought better that them than Germany. Actually, it could have gone to Sweden. I'm so disappointed.
They should have sent that to Sweden.
Sweden should have got it.
Yep, Sweden.
Sweden used to be so good, and then
Anyways,
now they're not.
Basically, the Belgian king, this wasn't even a colony of Belgium, it was a property of the Belgian king.
So it wasn't even a colony.
Okay,
the
once
king
again,
just owned
no,
it.
eventually it became a colony. But this is, like I said, Belgian. We'll do a Belgian Dutch Empire episode eventually. Anyways, he wanted access to access to this river here. So they made this really awful border with Zambia, which here is called a panhandle, where it extended into another country, but still technically connected.
Oh boy, panhandles!
Wow.
I love those things.
And then there was another one because they actually needed access to the coast, which I can understand that.
So they stab.
But the problem was that Portugal didn't want to give up this part of their colony. So they kept it, and Angola got split in two. Fun fact, this part of Angola is more rich than the actual part because they found oil.
So there's a northern half and a southern half of Angola, and now the northern half is richer.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's like saying Alaska has the same economy as California.
Oh, that's awesome. This border gore is already going to give me a headache.
Good thing we're not covering the HRE.
Ooh,
that's
man.
a-
Good thing this is modern day.
The HRE was so bad.
But we can't talk about that now because...
That's going to be a whole episode on the
So now
HRE.
Whole
another
episode.
part we could talk about since we're in Africa, just to the south of Angola, is Namibia. So...
This is all in Africa, by the way. If you don't know geography like our geography nerd here,
That's
Andrew.
it. I'm only going to refer to them as their colonial names now.
Andrew.
So, Southwest Africa.
Andrew, you better not do this.
Sorry, German Southwest Africa.
Andrew, stop.
Fine, Namibia, as they call
No
themselves
one knows
modern
this.
day,
Oh.
was a former German colony. So Germany basically wanted to have access to this river here.
Of course, everyone wants access to the river.
Now, we're going to explain why this did not work out in their favor. But basically, the UK is like, hey, I got a proposal for you. See, you have this amazing colony in Tanzania and Kenya. So what if we take these islands, right? In exchange for that, we'll give you a panhandled access to it.
Is that
Ign-
wait? Is that what that is?
Yep, the
There's
panhandle.
just
What?
a spearing into Botswana. What's that country just a little north? Just
Zambia.
Zambia.
There's like a
Hey,
spear going.
to be
into
fair,
Zambia,
I think the
Botswana.
DRC did a way worse job
Oh
than
my
Zambia.
gosh. Zambia's getting stabbed.
So we're gonna explain why this didn't work out. Other than the fact that the panhandle itself is ethnically and logistically everything different from the rest of Namibia. Ignoring that problem, the problem was even if it did access this river, there's a big waterfall to prevent them actually getting to the river. And the UK just didn't tell them that before making the deal, so they got screwed over, and we got this bizarre border for literally no reason.
Lovely.
And eventually, the Namibia would actually be given to South Africa. So Botswana, think about this. Look at Botswana now, and think about this all being South Africa.
Oh, wow.
You know, to be honest, when did the Europeans ever really care about what ethnic groups were where?
They don't
I don't think they ever did.
talk about the Middle East.
Ooh, the Middle
Oh,
East.
the Middle East.
Is there anything else in Africa I should
Israel,
really
Palestine.
need? Thank you for being demonetized, James.
I'm not gonna get us. All I said was Israel, Palestine.
Yeah, that's probably enough.
What?
Nah, it's nothing to worry about.
There's nothing. Why would we get demonetized for that? I didn't even say anything other than the names of them implying that there was border gore there.
Anyways, we're gonna move on to Africa. There's nothing too major there to talk about. I think I'm gonna talk about this Oman. So it looks simple. Like it looks like a Yemen and Oman, just like there and there. But what?
Yeah.
It's UAE. What's this over here? It seems
What?
to
What?
be look to be.
What is that?
Oh.
Is that an enclave?
It is. If very observant. So yeah, the
Why
very
are there
tip of this peninsula,
These
the
enclaves.
UAE actually belongs to Oman.
There's like
Now-
3 or 4 enclaves in the United Arab Emirates.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to get into. See, the issue here is that basically Oman was its own emirate because the UAE was basically a union of emirates, and Oman didn't feel like giving up any of the land that which it was inside of it or on the tip of the peninsula.
So it just didn't.
So it didn't, and now there's a second order. There's like it's actually not called a second. It's called a counter enclave. where it's a part of a country inside a country and part of another country.
Oh,
So you could drive in a straight line and then enter and leave a country 7 times. The 2 countries 7 times.
Oh my gosh. So bad.
Speaking of fun facts, this is one that isn't really a border gore, but just Qatar.
Yeah.
They're trying to actually get rid of their border by digging like a trench or something instead of making it just making themselves
They're
an
trying to make
island.
themselves an island.
I thought I just mentioned that since we're here.
If you didn't know, Qatar is a peninsula stuck off of
Which
the
starts
Middle
with a
East.
Q, by the way.
Yeah, it's spelled Qatar. Qatar.
Yeah.
Because that's how you spell that.
Yeah.
But, it's just stabbing.
I'm
out.
going to ignore the Israel-Palestine.
What? You're
just-
gonna ignore
Why?
Israel,
Why ignore
Palestine?
Because
There's so much border gore.
Yeah, because I know the West Bank and the Gaza Strip aren't connected. I get that and everything, but the history of that would just, despite the fact that I personally have an issue explaining it, A, it would take a while to explain, and B, I don't feel like getting demonetized. So let's talk
How
about
much money are we actually making on these, though?
nothing. But
Exactly.
I'd rather talk.
Why are we
If we're gonna
talking
get
about
demonetized, if we're getting demonetized, I'd rather talk about something more fun to talk about, which is Crimea. So Crimea,
Ooh.
it's a peninsula, not an island,
What?
which belongs to Russia or Ukraine, depending on who you're talking to.
Wouldn't it belong to the Crimeans?
No.
No.
They don't get their independence. No one allows them to be independent.
Maybe if they were Chechnya.
But
they would get
since
their
we're not going to
independence.
talk about this, really nothing really border go talk about. Let's talk about Russia, a different part. Let's talk about Kaliningrad.
What's Kaliningrad?
So this
Is that Russia?
yeah, it was. Let me explain this to
Yep.
you.
No,
So,
no. It was.
It is. Sorry.
Yeah, it is,
So
yeah.
so let me explain the history of this. So Germany after World War One was split, and then they still retain the area known as West Prussia. Now the problem.
West Prussia.
So after World War II, the borders of Germany lost all the a good amount of land given to Poland.
Which makes sense
And
since they
then
invaded them.
East Prussia was split between the Soviet Union and Russia at a 50-50.
Wait, what? It was split. Wait, East Prussia was split
Sorry,
between
West.
the Soviet Union.
Sorry, West Prussia.
It was split between the Soviet Union and Russia?
So Soviet Union and Poland.
Okay.
And so at the time, this didn't look as bad because they came out and they owned the Baltic states and everything. So they actually were connected to it. So it didn't look that
So
bad.
maybe if
But the
Lithuania would get out.
Let me explain the thing. So they decided to kick out all the Germans. Don't worry about that. That's not a problem. And put a bunch of ethnic Russians in instead of maybe putting some Lithuania. No, we must make the borders look disgusting. And Russia wanted basically a warm water port
Of course.
on the Baltic because
they have garbage ports right now.
cough St. Petersburg.
Oh my gosh.
But and the thing is, the worst part about all of this is actually get there. There's only 2 ways. Either they go by the Baltic Sea from St. Petersburg, or they go through literally at least 2 countries.
Oh.
Either it's through Latvia, Lithuania into the Kaliningrad, or Belarus into Poland into the Kaliningrad. It's bad.
Your thoughts, Kyler?
No thoughts.
No thoughts.
Yeah, we can't have any of those thoughts.
Yeah.
No thoughts here.
No thoughts.
Man, you gotta speak up, man.
I'm
No,
gonna
I
quick
know. I know.
We need your opinions.
I've been even noticing that. I'm
quick
lacking.
shout out
You're
to Northern Ireland. By the way,
Oh yes, Northern Ireland, that part of Ireland that got
look
cut
how
off.
thin that is. Like, seriously.
Oh my gosh.
Just give the UK the rest of that part.
Please.
Okay, I'm not gonna touch that.
Actually, I don't want to give
No.
the UK that part of
Don't get-
Ireland.
I mean,
The UK is stupid right now. I don't know why they're insisting on being like this.
don't get into the reasons why.
I'm not getting
Don't
into
get into
anything.
any.
I'm stopping.
We just make it part of America.
Yeah.
Because
Yes,
solves
we'll just make it all
problems.
America.
That
See,
solves all the problems.
I always think of all
Yeah.
of the good solutions. Anyways, we're
You're
gonna
a
go.
brilliant man.
We're gonna go a little bit into
Sometimes.
continental Europe and talk about Belgium and Netherlands for a little bit. So
They're all stabbing
this
each
looks
other.
like a nice little border. There's nothing.
No, it's
There's
not.
no
There's
problem.
no
Oh,
that.
what's this we got?
What is it? What?
Just some enclaves and enclaves. Because basically there was a
No.
city. Okay, right.
Yes.
So the Dutch and the Belgians basically didn't know how to exactly split it up. So they had this brilliant border. Now keep in mind, when they finalized these borders for real, they actually had the EU, at least the European zone where basically freedom of movement between the 2 countries. Hence why this can still exist and not make me too upset, but also still be upset because it looks like disgusting border.
I don't like these
Fun
borders.
fact about this though, there was basically the way they decided if your house split was being the borders is basically where your front door was. Is how you decide it.
Oh my gosh.
So there's one guy always thought he lived in Belgium, and then he paid his taxes and everything to Belgium, and then he found out that his door actually was on the Netherlands side. So instead of switching everything and dealing with all that and made those headaches, he just moved his door.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would just move my door.
Now, and then there is one issue because there actually is a house where it's literally 50-50, the door.
My
So
gosh.
he's part of both countries.
I mean, that's one way of getting dual citizenship.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm down.
But that's just that.
I wouldn't mind living in both Belgium and Netherlands, to be honest.
There's
That'd actually be
also
pretty
one other
cool.
interesting thing to mention about the whole Belgium.
You like the Dutch?
Is that there's actually a pretty sad issue with
Is that border Gore right there?
I think I found it. Is that the is that the railway? Yes, it is. So there used to be there used to be a railroad here.
Oh my god.
They got rid of it, and they didn't refuse to get back the land because basically they would ensure Belgium actually had actually uses it. They actually gave it, despite the fact that it's inside of Germany, and it cuts part of Germany off from itself. It's,
All right.
it's bad.
For those of you who can't see it, the border literally is just 2 lines over the railroad.
Where it used to be, it doesn't even exist anymore.
Oh my god. Oh, so there's not even a railroad there. There's just 2 lines cutting out a specific part.
Yeah, there's.
It looks like they just
Well,
tunneled in.
Yeah.
and
And it's one way to solve a problem.
yeah,
go with that.
without. I will say the European zone is the only reason why that probably still exists. Because that's like the thing with Europe, all these bizarre borders, and history and everything.
Yeah.
They're actually that only the reason why we can actually be okay with that, but not really because I still hate it.
Yeah.
But now let's talk about Russia. Let's talk about what some of the stuff they caused.
Okay.
Please.
So, there's a bunch of countries known as the stands. Now we're gonna start off with Kazakhstan. That one's not that bad. Doesn't
look bad.
I mean, I will admit, I don't really like the design of the border here.
Yeah, nah.
But other than that, no problems. Now we zoom into Uzbekistan and the Kyrgyzstan. Just all these stands. This is where things used to get bad.
That looks bad.
Yeah, it's already looking pretty bad.
So there's a bunch of enclaves and enclaves, enclaves. It's just everything's garbage.
Please stop.
So the best way I can put this is Stalin messing with people, and basically, if they made the borders disgusting, they wouldn't be able to gain their independence. Was the thought process.
But then they did anyway. So the borders
Yeah.
just look really
That's
bad.
only because of desalinization.
Oh, they got their independence. Well, of course they got their independence after Stalin died. No one
Yeah,
just
Stalin
escaped
did help
Stalin.
him.
No one just escaped Stalin.
Yeah, but basically, the best way I can put this is they're bad, and none of the countries want to lose their land. So we're still going to deal with this problem. And one of the worst parts is there's a part of Uzbekistan surrounded by Kyrgyzstan, I want to say it was. And it was 90% of it is ethnically Khajikan. So what does that mean? So thanks, Stalin.
Love that.
can thank
It's
them
okay
all.
though. It's okay. All this border gore, it'll disappear. I'm gonna take over the world. I'm gonna fix all these borders because there won't be any borders.
Now,
I beg to differ.
now this was...
What you beg to differ with
Hey,
what?
hey, relax.
That you will take over the world.
Oh, you beg to differ that I'm gonna take over the world?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do it first?
no
Exactly.
one will.
Yeah, you're right.
No,
I
baloney.
will.
I don't think
get out.
Andrew will either.
Andrew,
Wait, hear me out. Let's do a whole Rome dual console thing.
Oh, a
Console.
twin console thing again with this. Is that the only way we're gonna be able to have one of us as the leader of the world?
Yeah, realistically.
What, are you gonna try and kill me?
I won't try to kill
Okay,
you.
that's assassination.
Unbelievable. Can you hear this? My co-host is saying
Co-host?
that he will kill me if I become leader of the world. How rude.
Without me. You better not conquer the world without me. I'll be really mad.
I will conquer the world without you.
I'm just.
What are you gonna do? Nothing.
what the workers
Oh,
will
that
run.
reminds me of
Okay, I'm gonna stop before I get copyrighted.
You're gonna get copyright strike.
All right. Yeah.
I was an independent creator that made that song, so hopefully I'm safe.
No, hopefully we're safe, unless we're not.
That would be highly
No, I
unfortunate.
think
Now
we're
let's
safe,
talk about
right?
something.
Hopefully.
Let's talk about the Caucasus a bit.
The
So,
Caucasus.
so
Okay.
I mean, other than Armenia,
Armenia, that place didn't have any
we're
Armenians.
really gonna talk about Turkey. We're not gonna talk about Azerbaijan and the issues there. We're just gonna talk. We're not gonna talk about Georgia. Now we're gonna talk about Armenia and Azerbaijan's border. So,
Armenian who?
and Azerbaijan.
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 I can't even say that.
It sounds so stupid.
Blame
It sounds
the-
like someone was trying to say Parmesan. Azerbaijan. Can you press the Azerbaijan?
Don't you love the capital name, by the way?
Baku.
Yeah, man.
Baku.
Don't
I'm not. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
actually.
Literally,
you just-
it is
you
dumb.
just said
Literally,
No,
it's
I
dumb.
It's all dumb.
Anyways, but we're talking about this. See, Armenia's border has like this like panhandle. Well, it's also cutting off a part of
It's cutting.
Azerbaijan.
Where?
Right here, look. This is Azerbaijan.
That doesn't say Azerbaijan.
It doesn't, but look,
Oh, it does.
it's part of Azerbaijan.
It does not say Azerbaijan.
It just is, okay.
It's not. It doesn't say that. It says something different.
Let 'em
You know
dream.
what the worst part is? This panhandle here is actually made up of ethnic, or like a large part of it is actually ethnically Azerbaijanian,
Great.
and this part's actually like a decent amount Armenian.
No one cares about what ethnicity the people are. They need the land, Andrew.
I'm just more annoyed about the fact that it cuts off and just Stalin, stop doing this to me.
Stalin doesn't like
Stalin.
you, Andrew.
You may like him
Quit
all you
Stalin.
want, but
and
You
what's
can
going on.
voice your opinions in Siberia.
So back on topics. This is the island of Borneo, part of mostly Indonesia, but also belongs to partially to Malaysia as well as Brunei. So we're gonna talk about the Brunei border with Malaysia.
How
because
many
it's
islands can you? How many ways can you cut up an island?
No,
What
look at-
is that?
a smoothie. Okay, I'm
writing a
sorry.
meme in this.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, memes.
Anyways, basically part of it's cut off
Yeah.
by Malaysia because
Is that what is with all this cutting?
There's a
It
lot of
looks like
cutting.
there's an enclave there.
there is.
Like if you go back, it looks like there's an enclave, or maybe it's just all the yellow.
See,
it's
these
just
are two
cutting it
different,
so
two different
bad.
parts of this island. This country split up in two because pretty much it was originally British protectorate. Okay.
Yeah.
And when they
What-
get
what does that
independent-
mean, British
It means
protectorate?
it was basically part of the British Empire.
Oh well, yeah, of course.
And then afterwards, they got their independence, and Malaysia was invaded and took a bunch of their territory. And then Malaysia was going to invade them and take the rest of it, and the UN said, "No, don't do that." And for once, the country actually listened.
Whoa, the country listened.
But the problem was it's already split in half, and they're not happy, and they don't recognize this fact.
So it's just all
and it literally cuts the road that connects it. It's literally cut by that.
Why? It's so mean.
I know you're bullying a small nation.
Why would you bully small nations?
Or how about Indonesia bullying Papua New Guinea, taking half the island?
Why?
Because basically the Dutch East Indies, right, and then the separate colony was literally had half of New Guinea. Originally, the other half of it half of the half mentioned, by the way, was part of Britain, the one southern half, and the northern half was part of Germany.
Why? Wait, Germany?
Yeah, because they basically act like a really good base for all these islands they used to own.
Yeah.
And then they lost World
Japan.
War I, and they lost all of their islands.
Yeah, because Japan.
And then Japan took a bunch of the island, and then the other half of New Guinea was given to the UK, which they gave to Australia, the entirety of it.
Oh, nice.
And then basically the Dutch were pressured to give it to Indonesia, and there was like a really very questionable referendum of basically the people that were like in the really higher ups, basically saying we're joining Indonesia. And the rest of the population didn't want to because fun fact about Papua New Guinea is the most linguistically diverse nation. There's like 500 plus spoken there. The problem's not a lot of them matter, but that's besides the point.
Great.
I feel like there just needs to be a worldwide language.
I mean, I would too, but hopefully
we kind of have English doing that, but
can we just
Yeah,
like,
is it really doing that, though?
it's spoken by the most amount of people in the world and spread out through all parts of the world.
That is
And
true.
it is currently the official business language of business. So
That is true, but do you really think it's going to happen?
also, I want India to.
Yes.
I want to force India to learn English.
So-
I'll force India to learn English.
Okay, yeah.
Bunch of
Just,
scrubs.
Anyways, back on topic. The Pakistan border, or the whole basically subcontinent of India, was messed with slightly by
Whoa.
UK.
Only a little.
Yeah. Afghanistan, first to start off with, because it's technically still part of the subcontinent.
Mm-hmm.
So, Afghanistan was basically a buffer state
Yeah.
between the Soviet Union and British.
Powers.
Yeah, British Raj, as it was at the time.
Ah, I see. That's why Russia and Britain tried to keep each other out of Afghanistan.
So it was like a big game. It literally was called.
Yay.
Anyways, to prevent the actual having a border, they gave like this panhandle. I hate this map so much. It's really bad.
It is a bad
You know I have like 2% on my phone.
No one cares.
It's for the greater good.
Your phone will probably
Why is it
last
auto
long
putting
enough.
it? You don't care. Basically, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a panhandle. Have you ever seen what Afghanistan looks like?
No.
If you're curious on what it looks like, just go on Google
You know what?
Maps.
I'm just gonna pull up.
I don't have my
images.
phone.
I'm just
I
gonna,
know you don't.
I'm just gonna pull up an issue map of the world. Because Google Maps, at least the app seems to be
Yeah.
garbage on showing borders.
I mean, Google is kind of garbage anyway, so.
Okay, don't bash
You real-
Google.
you real-
I'll bash Google.
You realize that YouTube's owned by Google, right?
Oh, why can't it be the other way around? Oh, wait, if it was the other way around, we'd probably have more problems.
Yeah. There you go.
This is not solving anything, is it now?
Might.
So, you see this border? They basically borders China just by a small amount. Due to that reason. But why? Why not?
Because it's dumb. That's why.
It was basically to prevent the Soviet Union from bordering the UK.
You mean India?
Sorry, India. Well, it was the UK at the time, so.
No, it was the
British Raj, which was literally a puppet state of the UK.
Yeah, I know, but it's not technically the UK.
You know I don't even care.
Are we really gonna fight over something this stupid?
It's not necessary. I just realized that we are at 26 minutes. You gotta finish this up with some border gore. So basically, another part to mention is it was basically split up between, the rest of it was split up between Myanmar, which, other than this little bit, how this border looks with Thailand, just kind of looks part of the peninsula is taken out of the way. So I'm kind of annoyed by that, but that's not as nearly as bad as what
Vietnam.
the rest of it. So Sri Lanka, the Maldives get their independence, no issues there. Now the rest of it is split up into Hindustan and then the Islamic parts,
Hindustan.
which would eventually become India. Fun fact.
Hindustan.
Basically, it was
So stupid.
That is kind of a
the
funny
majority Hindu areas were given to India. The majority Muslim parts were given to Pakistan.
That makes
The problem
sense.
was it was split up, and it was basically split up to.
Wait, what do you mean Pakistan is there? I thought Pakistan was.
This is Pakistan, and this was Pakistan.
Oh no, it's Palestine. That's.
Bangladesh, also known as East Pakistan, was split apart from. We were not connected, and despite the fact that there was a majority population, the majority of the population lived in East Pakistan, the larger part of the landmass was in West Pakistan, and basically they were not being nice.
So they just said screw it.
And they gained their
Pakistan
independence.
is
Then the
not-
war happened, and then they kind of flew into India, and India's like not having this, and put an end to it, and gave Bangladesh independence.
That makes sense.
The only other problem this gives is this shape of India. Yeah. Where Bangladesh just looks like it fit nicely there, but it's not. And, and the corridor at worst is like 16 miles long.
It's so bad. Hey Andrew,
Yeah.
would it count as border gore since there's China in two places, but one of them is
No,
not-
that's called
one of
a.
them's not China. and
That's
the
called
other
a. Something else. That's not a. That's not a border. It is a border dispute,
It's a border dispute.
but not border gore.
What? That whole
Dispute.
thing.
Taiwan's real China, anyways. All belongs to Taiwan. We're moving on.
Yeah, man. Taiwan is better than this ridiculous communist regime.
Anyways, in the New World, there's
Hate
not
those guys.
too much
Yeah.
to talk about other than Cuba and Guantanamo Bay.
What is that?
Where's Guantanamo Bay? It's basically a prison where the U.S. owns, which is part of Cuba.
So it's just a little section of Cuba.
Yep.
That's owned
And
by the
Cuba
US.
denies the fact that we own it, but we do own it. It's like, here's your rent. You don't get out of our land. Here's your rent. Thank you for letting us rent this.
Oh.
That's the whole situation. I mean, I will admit that I'm not the biggest fan of Colombia's like panhandle here, but then again, it doesn't
What?
matter. It's the Amazon rainforest. Nothing too garbage there.
Besides,
Not
Chile
bad.
has this whole aspiration
From what
of
we've
owning like
seen.
all of the Andes.
Also,
I don't understand.
this panhandle here in Argentina, I'm not a big fan of it.
I can already see why you're not a fan of that.
It's so stupid. It just stabs into Paraguay.
Oh, that's mainly because of
And
the whole war we'll talk about eventually.
Oh, the war.
Yeah,
the war.
basically where they more or less wanted to split Paraguay between Argentina and Brazil. We'll talk about that war where they declared war on Uruguay, Brazil, and Argentina while being their no other allies. It was a fun time.
So Paraguay
It was.
decided to do a three
And we're running
them
out of
versus
time.
3 countries.
yeah.
And they weren't Israel.
And we just hit 30 minutes.
We're okay, finish this up. There's only the last few
Oh.
ones where the border with Mexico with this very thin amount of land here.
And the
Catching-
stupid Yucatan. Is that
Baja California.
Baja. Sorry. Shut up. I know stuff. I know stuff.
Also, this part of Guatemala, this part of Mexico pushing into Guatemala, I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It is.
And
borders are
last
garbage.
but not least, to go back
They
to
are.
the U.S., Alaska as a whole.
Alaska.
Yeah, just Alaska, just so
Can
cut
you
off from the
just,
US.
just give us can you just give us the entirety of Cascadia and go out to the U.S.?
Yeah, boom.
Also known as British Columbia, combined with Oregon.
British Columbia.
We combine with Oregon and Washington as a whole. That's
Yeah, boom. We just do that, and then
Yeah.
it's all fixed.
yeah. Canada's
Don't worry.
coastline.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry, listeners. It'll all be fixed when I take everything over in my world
I
conquest.
still beg to differ.
Oh, so let's talk about borders.
Tyler, shut
Anyways,
No.
fun fact: New Zealand is 2 separate islands. You guys didn't know that. If you guys didn't know that,
I actually didn't know that.
I did not know that.
there you go. See, 2 islands.
Learn something every day.
And then want to hear the names of the islands? North Island, South Island.
I don't know. A while back.
That's
I
literally the
heard from
name.
Amazing.
I love the name of it. I guess one other quick thing to mention is Norway, just wrapping around the entirety of peninsula, where Finland can't get any of that northern coastline.
Wait. Why would you even want northern coastline?
If it's alright, things are melting. That could actually be utilized.
Yeah,
Just remember, guys. Here, the reason why you should support fighting global warming is because the more the world gets warmer, the better it is for the Russians.
Yeah.
So if you want to stop the Russians, you better not warm the world.
Yeah, man. All that ice is melting, leaving all their ports open. Nah. We can't have that.
Oh, no.
So we'll just, make the world colder.
Oh, yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
that.
One last Canadian, just there's 2 more things I want to talk about Canada.
You better hurry it up, man.
I know.
Okay, yeah,
Basically,
hurry up.
this whole issue with this as a whole.
You're gonna have to make sure you put pictures of this.
I
stuff.
will.
Yeah.
Basically, it's part of Canada where it's like north of Maine,
Yeah.
but not part of Quebec.
I'm seeing.
Well,
that.
technically, it is part of Quebec, but basically the whole Quebec peninsula. I feel like this should just belong to America and make things look nice and clean, but no.
No.
And last but not least, Minnesota. This little bit here, it's all because of a treaty, where basically there's a lake here.
It's just a little
They
salmon.
assumed that the Mississippi River would head that far north, but it didn't.
No.
So the technicality of a treaty, we were given this part of
Oh, nice.
this northern part, which is not connected to America in any way, shape, or form. As well as one last quick thing to talk about is when
One
making this
last.
border, they went to agree the whole. I think it was 45. I can't remember what parallel. It was basically a straight line latitude, and they thought, okay, let's make sure to go the straight line. Oh, that'd be stupid to be splitting this island here, Vancouver. So let's make it's all solved. We're not going to cut any more parts of the map, and that's how we get Point Roberts, where part of Canada, which should would make sense to be part of Canada, isn't part of Canada.
Lovely. I think we're gonna have to call it
Yeah,
there.
call it there.
Yeah, there's more border irregularities in the world, but it
There's
doesn't
more,
matter
but that's-
enough for me to talk about.
So
Or I
that's all
forgot.
the time we have, folks.
And I'm the
I
first
went
special
over.
guest.
I went
Yeah,
3
man,
minutes
high
over.
five.
Yeah.
First special
Anything
guest.
to say before we close this off, Kyler?
You guys will see me and probably something else.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have.
Don't you
Kyler
mean
back
listen?
on. Well, yes, but shut up, Andrew. We'll have Kyler back, and we'll have some more special guests in future episodes. So I
Yeah.
guess see
If
ya.
you call us at the phone number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you can be on the show
Actually,
as well.
wait, didn't we
Whoa.
actually plan to have everyone? as
Don't
a special
act-
guest?
Yeah,
Whatever you
eventually.
do, don't
Yeah.
actually call that phone number.
We don't own that phone number.
Not yet.
Shut up.
Oh,
Anyway, we're calling it here. So
yeah.
see ya.
See
Yeah.
ya.